Tom Melody, personal trainer, and today we're talking about this position, what I like to call the longevity position. Can you get into this position without this happening? Oh, my tight heels. Can you get into this position without this happening? Oh, my rounded spine. The reason why in the Western world, this is Angus by the way, the reason why we find it challenging to get in this position is because, in my opinion, we're very inactive. And because we're very inactive in our society, it leads to tightnesses here, it leads to tightnesses here, it leads to weaknesses here, it leads to weaknesses here, it leads to Angus eating a foam roller. Shh, give. Hey, he's a puppy dog. It leads to a lot of imbalances. So I think the longevity pose is a great one to practice, because it's a bit of a flexibility test. It's also a great measure of progress as well. You can test on a week-to-week, day-to-day basis to see how comfortable do you feel in this position. I myself spend quite a lot of time here, just here, doing things, gardening, whatever. It's a great default position, and it is something that can be improved upon if you go through the right steps. So today we're going to also, as well, to mention, in the gym, let's say if you're squatting, there's a big difference between squatting through this range of motion to this range of motion. The lower portion of the movement engages a lot more of this muscle, the teardrop muscle, good for stabilizing the knee, a lot more here, good for stabilizing the knee. If you're looking to train to maintain independence as you age, then that's a great one. So obviously if you can get into this position, pick something up, do that, whatever you want to do. Throw the toy for Angus, you know. Anyway, enough of that. So let's go through troubleshooting. The first on the list is tight heels, which we're going to look at first. That's a major reason why people can't do this. Another reason is tight calves, tight back, poor hip mobility, spinal alignment, previous injuries. We're not going to get into those two today because that can be a bit more specific. Our weak glutes as well and weak core is also a consideration that can affect why it might be a challenge to get into this position. We're going to put the thumb against the wall. I'm going to use this as a tape measure, and then we're going to see how far that knee comes to the wall. How close can you get it? I'm going to do a few reps there, and we're going to hold and look to see if your heel comes up. Does the heel raise? Yes or no? If it does, if you can only get to about here, you've got tightness in the heel, and that's something that we can work on. Do the same on the other side. Make sure you've got your tape measure, put your thumb in place, try and get that knee as close as you can manage. Watch to see that heel raising. Again, that will give you a good indicator of that. The next thing you can do to check for tightness in the calf is to raise up your heels. Raise up your feet. Don't recommend doing it on a fire half. You can get like a rolled up mat or something. Put your hands behind, straighten your legs. Do this for a few reps. If you find it hard to straighten your legs, then you've got tightness in your calves. Do a little bit of release through the soft tissue. And then you can go double. And then if you're feeling really brave, you can go the whole hog. This is a very simple release. That could be quite painful if it's very tight. And then go and retest, see if it's made a difference. You can also do the same for your calf. Weak glutes and lower back, we're just going to go through a few primers. So I'm going to encourage you to do the bridge, but before you start, to squeeze and isolate your buttocks, your glutes. This is to develop that neuromuscular pathway, that mind-muscle connection. So before you start, we're going to contract the glutes and we're going to imagine that we're lifting with the glutes. So a few of these, but not just, you know, in body pump or wherever it is, up, down, up, down. We're doing a few reps, but we're consciously contracting the glutes. And then down. And you can do 10 reps for 3 sets. And then what you can do is bring it to the sofa. Raise and lower. Raise and lower. And again, 10 reps for 3 sets. The aim of the game is to just get a little bit of mind muscle going. We're not looking to overload at this stage. We're hoping to wake up that muscle to build a bit of proprioception in that area so it starts to activate and switch on a little bit more. Okay, so now we're going to look at the weak core, and I've got 3 exercises that I love for this one. They come from the back mechanic Stuart McGill. A lot of the time you can go into a gym or you can go online and you can see ab training that looks basically like people are dancing, and it's just a complete waste of time. So if you can't do these 3 foundational exercises, then really don't waste your time with any kind of dancing. And the first one is the dead bug. So we're setting the knees. Set the knees above the hips, and there is a natural arch in the lower back. You need to keep your lower back pushed down. If it starts raising off, your abdominals are not engaging correctly. And then, if you're able to, we're just going to extend one leg and pull it back, all while keeping this down. Extend and pull it back. What you can do as well is put a resistance band, put it underneath, hold it here, and go through the motion. Once you've got a nice activation there, and you're able to keep that lower spine pushed down, then you can start to extend a little bit further. So that's number 1. Number 2 is the side plank. We're making sure that the elbow is underneath the shoulder. Start on your knees, hip in line with the knees, knees in line with the shoulder, and just raise up. So we're hitting those obliques. The obliques are at the side of our body, often very neglected in abdominal training. And just hold that for 30 seconds or so. And then the same on the other side. Knees in line with hips, hips in line with shoulder, elbow in line with shoulder, up and hold. And then the final abdominal exercise is called the bird dog. Don't ask me why. Tabletop position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to extend opposite arm, opposite leg. Try and keep your hips as level as possible, and then just drop down. This should not be easy. If it's easy, if you're not feeling like, oh God, I'm going to start to sweat soon, then you are doing it wrong. And what you can do, extend opposite arm, opposite leg, big fist. Imagine that you're pulling a lot of energy through, and then try and connect your knee to your elbow. Squeeze nice and tight, pull those abdominals in, and then stay on that same side. High leg, high arm, hold, and then again, pull it down. 8 of those each side should feel suitably activated. So those are some things to try to help you to get into the longevity pose. If you are struggling, if you need any support, any advice, then leave your comments below and I'll be sure to answer them. See you next time.